Alright guys, welcome back. Banning 13 here, and we are doing the Witchdoctor Helltooth set dungeon today, and this one is an absolute pain in the ass, but you're lucky because I'm here. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you all. There are skill changes and there are quite a few gear changes, some of which are absolutely a must, and you cannot complete this set dungeon without some of these changes. We're going to go through it all in a moment. Just please note, this isn't a build video, so if you guys are after the Helltooth build video, please check out the description below. I'll have a link there to the build video that I did. From that build video, we're just making changes for the Helltooth, meta build it is that I'm using for the Witchdoctor, and we're just making the necessary changes to complete the set dungeon, and there are quite a few of them. First of all, we're going to start off with the objectives here so you guys know what we're talking about and why we're changing what we are. So number 1, kill 20 enemies with a single wall of death 4 times. Sounds easy enough, but it can be quite challenging because we need to kite 20 mobs into an area so we can, boom, cast our wall of death and kill them all in the one. Very important to note, do not have any items equipped or placed in Canai's cube that actually cast more than one wall of death. Problem is, if you cast more than one wall of death, the enemies won't actually register into the one wall of death. We need to kill 20 enemies in one single wall of death, not 2 or 3 or whatever. So be careful not to have anything that multi-casts wall of death. And the second objective is do not take any poison damage. Now this is easily avoided with an amulet. We definitely want Mara's amulet, which I'll go through in a second when I go through my gear, but they're the objectives. Sounds easy enough, but it can be challenging, believe me. Alright, let's get right into our skills that we change. So if you've watched my build video, you'll probably see that we've got Wall of Death with Communing Spirits and Piranhas with Piranado. They're staying the same. We're keeping those. We're keeping Spirit Walk, but we're changing it over to Severance so we can move around quicker. Time is against us in this set dungeon. It really is a race against time. We're keeping Soul Harvest with Languish for survivability. Like I said, when you have to kite mobs around to get 20 into an area and then boom, cast your Wall of Death, this is definitely a lifesaver. And we're using Hex with Angry Chicken. This is going to really increase our movement speed, and it's going to add to our mobility around this set dungeon. It is a large set dungeon and time is against us, trust me. Gargantuan with Humongoid we're keeping, but we're not summoning any pets and we're not summoning any followers, so make sure we go into this 100% alone. You can have your visual pets that don't do any damage equipped. Obviously that doesn't matter, you can summon them, they don't do any damage, but we're keeping Gargantuan with Humongoid for the reason we're keeping it is once we complete our objective of killing 20 enemies 4 times in a single wall of death, once we've got that out of the way, we can just rush through the set dungeon, kill everything that's remaining, and we summon our Humongoids, our Gargantuan Humongoids. It really, really helps. Now, going into passives, we've got Grave Injustice, basically for our cooldown reduction, Swampland Attunement for all resistances, Pierce the Veil for extra damage, and Jungle Fortitude again for survivability, reducing damage taken. So there are our skills. The only ones we've really changed is the rune in Spirit Walk, and we're using Hex with Angry Chicken, okay? Now let's get into gear. We're making a few changes here. Now we're taking the Compass Rose and Short Man's Finger out, and we're putting in Focus and Restraint. Reason being, we're not doing much pet damage for this set dungeon. It's relying solely on our Wall of Death and our Piranhas, okay? So Focus and Restraint definitely adds to our damage. We're putting in the Manajuma's set, the Manajuma's Way set, which includes the Carving Knife and the Offhand. And what this does is it adds movement speed when we're hexed into a chicken, so it lasts for 15 seconds instead of a few seconds, whatever it was, and it increases our movement speed by 100%, so it allows us to move through this set dungeon really quickly. So this combined with Spirit Walk will be a huge help, trust me. So there are main gear changes. Canai's cube is extremely important as well. What I'll show you that I changed is in weapons, I got In Geom. Now, In Geom, because there's a lot of elites, you will be bumping into elites a lot in this set dungeon. When you kill an elite, your cooldowns are reduced by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack or killing an elite. This helps hugely. You can spam your Spirit Walk, you can spam your other abilities after you kill an elite. It's pretty awesome, and it's definitely helpful in this set dungeon. Armor, I've gone with illusory boots. Now, this allows us to kite mobs together instead of sort of getting stuck in between all these mobs. You can walk around straight through them and you can gather your 20 before you, boom, cast your Wall of Death. Makes sense? I think it does. Definitely, I highly recommend them. And obviously, Mask of Joram is kind of useless because we're not doing much pet damage, at least until we complete our first objective with the Wall of Death, killing 20 enemies 4 times. Jewellery, probably the most important, is Mara's Kaleidoscope. Now, Mara's amulet here will prevent all poison damage, and every time we kill a pack, those little accursed creatures that you're going to see once I go into the set dungeon, if you guys remember Act 2, where those creatures, when you kill them, just go poof, they explode in poison damage, that's what happens here. And you can easily avoid the damage, but it will slow you the hell down, because if you kill these creatures and they're stopping you from progressing in the set dungeon, then you're going to run out of time, and we have to keep moving. Time is against us here. You'll see that you'll fail this set dungeon a few times just because of time, running out of time, and you'll notice you haven't even uncovered the entire map. So definitely get Mara's Kaleidoscope. This is a must-have for this set dungeon. You can probably try and swap out some of these items for whatever else you might feel like. I mean, I've definitely made a few changes that some people didn't do, but I think that this is definitely the easiest way to do it. All of these set changes I would highly recommend. So that's pretty much it. We've gone through gear, skills, and our Canise Cube. We are ready to go. Now I'll show you guys how to get there. We open up our map here. We make sure that we're in Act 1. And we want to head over to the Royal Crypts here. And I actually cleared the Royal Crypts earlier just to prepare this for you guys, but bringing up the map, you can see as you work your way towards the Crypt of the Skeleton King, just up here, there's a cell here, and your set dungeon appears just there in the very, very last cell door. So let's move on up there and check this out. As you can see, I'll show you the Hex Chicken, how quick it moves. So very, very handy. As you can see, it moves real quickly and it lasts for ages. What you got to be careful of though is when you get out of the chicken, there's an explosion that occurs around you. Just be careful not to kill any enemies, because you want to gather your 20 and kill them in your Wall of Death. So your set dungeon appears right there. You can't miss it. Alright, just before the Crypt of the Skeleton King portal there, or doorway. And I've gone through my objectives. Now we just got to complete the set dungeon. Let's go on in. And once we are in, don't muck around, get straight into Spirit Walk or Hex Chicken. And there's usually a pack first up. So we've got to kite them around. Make sure you cast your Soul Harvest. And it looks like we're going to get 20 here. Boom! There we go. So we've got one right off the bat there. So once we kill our elite here, our cooldown reduction is reduced greatly as well. Spirit Walk, keep moving. We might be able to get another pack here. Hopefully there's another one. Yeah, we might be able to do it. This is a good start, boys. Good start. Alright, we've got 2 already. It's not usually this easy, believe me. I've struggled with this set dungeon myself. Now, the other thing you've got to be careful of, if you have to backtrack, you've got to make sure you don't miss any enemies. Sometimes you might miss one, which, you know, what can you do? It happens, and you can go quickly find him in your chicken mode, but whenever you can, just do a quick backtrack and make sure that you've killed everything. And choose your timing. I mean, you got to really choose your targets well. So when you can see there's a big group of these accursed guys, kite them around, and you need to find another pack, like so, like I'm doing here, and then you got to cast your Wall of Death. We just missed it there, god damn it. But as you can see that poison damage that they blow up in? Oh, here we go, we nearly missed one. That poison damage is what will make you automatically fail, and that's why you need that Mara's Kaleidoscope. Must have Mara's. Any single enemies like that, we just kill as quickly as possible and keep moving. We get into Spirit Walk whenever we can, and we obviously get into Chicken Hex mode whenever we can. Doesn't look like we're going to get 20 here. And because the set dungeon is quite large, if you get 2 or 3 successful objectives done, which is the kill 20 enemies with a single Wall of Death, then you're going well. It's such a large set dungeon, you will have many opportunities to get your 20 enemies, believe me. You don't have to kite every single time that you see an enemy. Choose your moments wisely and choose big packs. Usually if you get a big pack, you only need to progress to another pack, and with 2 combined you will get your 20 enemies. Usually one's never enough. Very rarely will you have one entire pack in this set dungeon that has 20 or more enemies. It's not, they don't make it that easy, unfortunately. Ooh, it looks like a big one here. I think we're going to get it here. Ooh, so we've got 3 out of 4. We're moving really well. It doesn't usually move this well, I'm telling you. They usually spread out a lot more. So obviously luck plays a bit of a factor in this set dungeon as to how your enemies spawn. We're not going to get 20 here, no way. So we only need one more objective of 20 enemies in a single wall of death. And like I mentioned, there are a lot of elites that spawn in this set dungeon, and that goes hand in hand with your Ingeom. Can we get it here? Can we get it here? Oh, we got it! Oh, we got it! We got it just. Woo! So now that we've got our objective complete, the hardest part, I believe, of the set dungeon, we can cast our Gargantuan. We've got the Gargantuan that's going to help us kill shit now, so we've got a pet, and we just go ballistic. There's no more stuffing around fighting mobs. We move around as quickly as we can. We just need to clear it out as quickly as we can now. So I'm pretty confident that we got this time. Pretty sure we got this, boys. And obviously use your exploding chicken to your advantage now, because yeah, we don't need to get 20 enemies in a single wall of death anymore. We just need to finish it off, and we need to make sure we don't miss anything. So that's where the Gargantuan with Humungord is definitely helpful. He will help us kill enemies. It's a shame we don't have 3 of them as usual with this build, but hey, at least one helps. And if enemies try and run away now, at least the Gargantuan will run after them. No holding back. Come on, we've got 11 more monsters to kill. I think we got this. 10 seconds. Shit! Shit! This is what I mean. It's so close, and it's going to be this close every time. 4, 3, 2. Yes! We got it. As you can see, I wasn't joking. We had 3 seconds to spare. I could have sworn it went down to 2 and almost 1. But according to our dungeon completion medal here, we completed it with 3 seconds to spare. As you can see, it's very, very close. So don't get frustrated, even though you probably will. Hold your anger in. Be patient. Keep trying this over. Follow my guide, and you will get this. If I can help in any way, hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, please be sure to show your support. Like this video if it was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to Bannick13. I will be back real soon, boys and girls, with more Diablo 3 videos. Until next time, Bannick13, out!